All right, shalom, shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, the ones that have been continually teaching us this truth on a daily basis. Shalom to all the sincere brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity, of course, and shalom to the few sisters that watch, and a big shalom to the hopefully elect. And we want to get into this article from the Washington Post. It says more than 1,700 congressmen once enslaved black people. As we know, as the Israelites. This is who they were and how they shaped the nation. So, all these congressmen had slaves, owned slaves. Northern Kingdom as well as the Southern Kingdom, but now they focusing on, so-called black people, which we know, mostly the tribe of Judah over here in America. It says Washington Post has compiled the first database of slave-holding members of Congress by examining thousands of pages of census records and historical documents. We got a picture of these Edomites in Congress. It says for the first 7 decades of its existence, Congress returned again and again to one acrimonious topic. And, I looked at that word. It means acrimonious means angry, bitter. So, acrimonious topic, slavery. So, it was only angry and a bitter and angry topic because they didn't want to get rid of it, It says many of the lawmakers arguing in Washington were participants in the brutal institution at home. So, they had slaves. They weren't trying to get rid of it, And then, it's pointing out the people that own the slaves, all Edomites, as we know. It says, here's what it looked like on March 7th, 1850, as Senator Daniel Webster delivered a famous speech about slavery. 46 of the 106 congressmen listening owned human beings. So 46 out of 106 had slaves. Those slaveholders included Jefferson Davis, Andrew Johnson, and Sam Houston. And hey man, all these people, that's why, the judicial system is rigged against us, man, because, this has been handed down and continued. The mentality of these men. They had slaves. So, they still look at us the same way, regardless of what people may think, But we'll get a quick scripture. It's Colossians chapter 3 and verse 25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. And there is no respect of person. So, hey, once again, like we always say, man, payback coming to these people, man. Recompense. The judicial system, Congress, all them people, man. That's why Babylon the Great is gonna fall hard at that, It says from the founding of the United States until long after the Civil War, hundreds of the elected leaders writing the nation's laws were current or former slaveholders. More than 1,700 people who served in the United States Congress in the 18th, 19th, even 20th centuries owned human beings at some point in their lives, according to a Washington Post investigation of census and other historical records. So we see it right there, man. It said the country is still grappling with the legacy of their embrace of slavery. And we know these people got to pay, man, for all the wrong they've done. Even with starting the country, they started off, you know, slaughtering the Northern Kingdom to even be able to be in a position to even own slaves, to even have a so-called country. You know, hey, but the Lord gonna pay them back. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 15. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Just speaking to the Israelites. Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. So the Lord ultimately brought these people against us, and enslaved us, as it was written in Deuteronomy 28. It says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee I will give for a prey. For I will restore the health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. So basically, man, the Lord saying, hey, these people got to pay for what they did. And he's going to heal the wounds of, Zion, his people, the chosen Israelites. And everybody that has done wrong towards his people, they got to pay for it, Whether you know it or not, Jake, you still got enemies. You don't want to accept the fact that you have enemies. Us in this truth, we know we have enemies, but most worldly people, man, they looking to be accepted. After all these years, they still looking to be accepted by some Edomites, man. And every other nation out there. Okay, going back to the article, it says the link between race and a political power in early America echoes in complicated ways. Salakia for that pause. It says the link between race and political power in early America echoes in complicated ways from the racial inequities, that's fairness or unfairness or whatever, that persist to this day, to the polarizing fights over voting rights and the way history is taught in schools. Us in this truth, we don't care about no voting. And as far as history, it's not going to be taught. Your true history is not going to be taught in school anyway. Our history is the Holy Bible. So, and the rest of the, history should be taught at home, because you can't rely on your enemy to teach you your history. I mean, it's going to be tainted in all kind of ways. It says the Washington Post created a database that shows enslavers in Congress represented 37 states, including not just the South, but every state in New England, much of the Midwest, and many Western states. So, everybody had a hand in it, man. It says some were owners of enormous plantations, like Senator Edward Loyal V of Maryland, who enslaved 468 people in 1832 on the same estate where abolitionist Frederick Douglass was enslaved as a child. Many exerted great influence on the issue of slavery, like Senator Elias Kent Kane, who enslaved 5 people in Illinois in 1820 and tried to formally legalize slavery in the state. So, man, all these people had a hand in it. And it's got a chart, going by the years in the states. It says how the share how the share of lawmakers who enslaved black people changed over Congress' first 130 years. So we see the little chart. I'll leave a link in the description. It say for the first 18 years of American lawmaking, from 1789 to 1807, more than half of the men elected to Congress each session were slaveholders. It says the northern state outlawed slavery. The proportion of the congressmen who were slave owners declined, but some congressmen in New England continued to enslave people until at least 1820, and some representatives of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and other states continued to enslave people for at least a decade longer. So, hey, man, these people ain't, when they talk about they ended slavery, they ain't end no slavery, man. They just handed you over, Everything continued, You still property. They just changed the wording, But, for the people that's living today that benefited off of it, we also got, the Lord got that covered also, This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So, hey, it's going to come a point in time, hey, where your kingdom going to fall and all manner of slaughter is going to be, applied to these Edomites, man. It said, for I will rise up against them, said the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, and will cut them from Babylon, the name, the remnant, the son, the nephew, said the Lord Yahweh. Hey, so he pretty much, you're going to be cut off, man. And it's coming, we see it happening right now. It's not prophecy jumping off the pages, But your kingdom is crumbling, Esau. All over the world. And it says when 11 southern states succeeded in 1860 and in 1861, their lawmakers left Congress and the number of slaveholders dropped accordingly. Still, more than 20% of the members who remained in Congress as the country fought the Civil War over slavery, but we know that wasn't true, were current or former slaveholders. We know that was all about money, Not fighting over ending slavery. It was about the South dominating the North, financially. It wasn't about having slavery. It says after Reconstruction, the proportion of congressmen who had been slave owners dropped as some Northerners moved south and then represented southern states in Congress. But the Southerners who had been enslavers were also elected. People who had been slaveholders continued to serve in Congress well into the 20th century. And this stuff still carry over. You still got family members, how Esau like the they call it nepotism, helping their family members out, whether it be getting them jobs or just looking out financially, just looking out, man, showing favoritism. And those same people in Congress now, if you look at a picture, man, it's all Edomites in them. You might see a couple of Jakes, but they sold out. But for the most part, man, it's straight Edomite, just like back then. It says William Richardson, for example, a Democrat who fought for the Confederacy, died in office in 1914 after representing Alabama for 14 years. Another Democrat, Rebecca Latimer Felton, a suffragist. I'm gonna have to look that word up. I don't know what. Let me see. Let's look that up. Suffragist. A person advocating to the right to vote The person advocating that the right to vote be extended to more people, especially to women. Well, she was that, and she was a white supremacist, and a white supremacist was appointed to fill a Senate vacancy in 1922 and briefly represented Georgia at the age of 87. The first woman ever to serve in the Senate was a former slaveholder. See what I'm saying? So all this stuff just been handed down. And we talking about 1922. It's almost 100 years ago now. But, that wasn't really that long ago. So you take, a couple generations or whatever, and you still got the same mentality in there, man. It ain't really changed that much. It says, enslavers came from all parts of the political spectrum. The Post database includes lawmakers who were members of more than 60 political parties: Federalists, Whigs or Whigs, Unionists, Populists, Progressive, Prohibitionists, and dozens more. All those parties included slaveholders. So, man, hey. And it's still continuing on now. So, people Jake want to be all over the Democratic Party and hate the Republicans, but it's all the same people, man. It says most commonly political affiliation among enslavers were the Democratic Party. More than 600 Democrats in Congress were slaveholders. While the early Republican Party is associated with abolition, the Post found more than 480 slaveholders who identified as Republicans at some point in their elected careers. So, come on, man. Democratic, Republican, it's all the same. I mean, you got Jake out here bending over backwards for these people, man. Edomites, man. All right, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 55. The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom, therefore shalt thou receive recompense. And that's what's coming to the Edomites, man. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, said the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, even so shall Yahweh Hashem Yahushua do unto thee, and shall deliver them into mischief. And we see, Esau scrambling now. They don't know which way to turn, what's going on. You got this Omarion and all kind of stuff coming at them. And then you got financial issues. You got World War III on the brink. You got the chariot showing up, So Esau really, he being delivered unto mischief, man. And we'll get one more. It's Ezekiel 35 and 15. As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea. And we know that that's talking about Esau, man. Esau, Edom. Even all of it. And they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. So once this judgment start coming down on these Edomites, man, they gonna understand that, all the dirt that they ever did is coming back. And we got some pictures they got pictures of some of these devils, man. You can look at that dude, he a devil, Edomite. John McLean, an Ohio congressman, and later a Supreme Court justice. So, it says he was on the 1957 Dred Scott decision, in which the High Court ruled that black Americans were not citizens under the Constitution. McLean was once in slavery. Man, so that's a devil. Phew, man. Hey, these people got to pay, man. We got, they got more charts. You can look this stuff up. It's got something about Cory Booker. He a sellout. You hanging around all these Edomites, man. Hey, ain't no telling what he did to get where he at, But, they got more pictures of these devils. It says on the left, an 1844 photograph of John Peter Van Ness, an enslaver who represented New York in Congress and later served as mayor in Washington, D.C. An elementary school and a street and metro station are named after him. That's right now. And then, you got Francis Preston Blair Jr. in 1859, a Missouri enslaver who served in both houses of Congress. He has a statue in the Capitol and a homeless shelter named after him in Northeast Washington. So, man, these people still being, celebrated right now. They took that statue down of that devil, Theodore Roosevelt, the one where he got Jake and then, Judah and Ephraim, or the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, the so-called black man and the so-called Native American walking beside him on a horse. They got rid of that statue. But, man, your kingdom is crumbling, man. Lord willing, somebody be edified. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. All right, this is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So, these devils hate us now, man. People out here still loving these people, man. Still trying to be integrated in society with these people, man. These people hate you, man. Think the Lord gonna lie? Come on, man. All right, it's the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border. Verse 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither they have sold them, and return your recompense upon your head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters unto the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabeans, to a people far off, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it. So, hey, your slavery is coming, Esau, and all the rest of the nations, man. Hey, they don't teach this in the Christian church, man. It's all about love. And to top it off, man, we got the, hey, the one we always bring out when we discussing the Edomites and the things they've done. Okay, we got another Edomite, female Edomite, Rebecca Latmere Felton, briefly represented Georgia in the Senate in 1922. She had been a slaveholder at one point in her life. Look at that devil. Can't tell if that's a man or a woman, But we know it's a devil. We do know that. Okay, they got something about the Northern Kingdom in here. Let's see. The Post initially concluded that 1,715 members of Congress were enslavers at some point in their adult lives, including at least one lawmaker who held Native Americans in bondage for all these silly all the tribes of black. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, these people out here on a low level, man. But we gonna get Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Jake, and you too, Esau. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So it's coming, Esau. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Got that, Esau? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And we know who the saints are. You know, if you want to know, Psalms chapter 50 and verse 5, and Psalms 148. If you want to know who the saints are. So, and we know that's Israel. So with that being said, we want to say Shalom once again. We constantly want to give all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Hashem Rakakodas. Shalom.